Meatless Monday has now become a firm tradition in our household, and especially now in the winter, we are looking for something that is warming and filling and satisfying. And you know, the Moroccan foods are so very much in the style of which we like to eat. So we are making a tagine today with butternuts and butterbean. Now, with these vegetarian things, you need a fair amount of oil. We use about 4 tablespoons of olive oil, and then we're going to add the onions. Now, remember our magic trick: always season the onions with green onion seasoning before you stir fry them. Just toss and add the onions to the pot. Now remember, this adding the onions to the pot is a slow method. So all I'm going to do now is to put the lid back on the pot so that you get that lovely steam smear happening. And we keep the heat at a slow, gentle temperature. Now once the onions are added and they are nice and soft, then we add the garlic, and then the Moroccan touch here is the cumin. Then we're going to add the butternut. Now butternut, in any form of way, is enormously improved with some of our masala spice. Use about a teaspoon. It won't necessarily give a over-the-top curry flavor. It just gives a spicy, that kind of Middle Eastern flavor that you want. Stir this together, put the lid on again, and have a cup of coffee. Now we're using butter beans as the protein component of the meal. Now we put butter beans. Then we're using a tin of chopped tomatoes, the sun-dried tomato coat and cook sauce, together with 2 tablespoons of the pesto. Now just remember, this is the holy grail. The chopped tomatoes, fresh or tinned, the sun-dried tomato sauce, and the sun-dried tomato pesto. That will give you a very well-rounded tomato flavor. Now to get the liquid to cook this beautiful casserole in, we need a cup of water and a teaspoon of our vegetable stock. Then finally, once the dish is cooked and it's just absolutely perfect, we give it that final sweet taste that you would get with Moroccan cooking. Some of the soft Turkish apricots. Now, peace in the home, nothing to do. You grab your cup of coffee and you wait for 20 minutes until the butternut's absolutely soft and until the flavors have developed, and then we'll show you the finishing. Couscous is one of the quick, easy starches. When you don't have time to cook rice and you don't have time to cook pasta and potatoes are out of the question, then what can be easier than couscous? Because we can now buy the instant couscous. We've also discovered through trial and error that whether you're using butter or olive oil for the couscous, it's always a good idea to melt the butter, put the dry couscous in there, and then to toss it. Now you'll find that when the couscous is cooked, you don't get these lumps of couscous because the grain has now already been covered with oil. Then we add 1.5 cups. It is very important that the water is boiling. We add a teaspoon of our vegetable stock, stir it through. We add a touch of lemon juice and some grated lemon Now at this stage, you need to leave the couscous stand covered so that it can swell out. You can put cling film on, or easier is to put the dinner plate on. Later on, we're going to add some chilies and some of the coriander pesto. Now, sesame seeds are divine, and they're one of the very, very best sources of calcium. But they do improve enormously if you toast them a little bit. All you do is a completely dry frying pan, and this Le Creuset non-stick is of course first prize. Throw the seeds in there, and you just stand there, don't walk away, because that's the minute when they burn. Take it off just before you think it's right. Okay, let's look at our couscous. Can you see how the water has been completely absorbed? Now we add the aromatics to it, which is the chili, the coriander pesto. Stir it in, let's add the sesame seeds. Now let's look at the presentation. Now, in order to get this couscous to form a lovely pyramid shape over, it's a good idea to put it through one of these preserving funnels, the nice big hole in it. We crown this, a bit more of the pesto, and as a final touch, we South Africans also love that combination of sweet and sour. Cover the dish with a lid, bring it to the table. Big surprise tonight, Moroccan.